Hello and welcome to another exam paper walkthrough. I've got a really nice paper for you today, hopefully. This is for GCSE mathematics and I'm focusing on Edexcel today. This is a predicted topic paper. So I've put this together using sort of a topic frequency analysis of paper ones that have hit so far. I'll go a bit more into that later on. This is written for the June 25 series, so that is, well, we're currently in April 25, so this is for the paper ones that are coming up, and I'm concentrating on the foundation tier in this video. There in the description to this video, you'll find a link to a Google Drive where you can download a copy of the paper. I would strongly recommend that you've either done the paper beforehand or you can do it alongside the video, one or the other, just to get the most out of it and maximize your revision. I would also recommend have some music on in the background. I always have a bit of music on while I'm recording these. It just makes going through the videos, going through the papers a bit more enjoyable. If you find this video useful, please do subscribe if you like. At the end of this video, I will go through kind of a rough idea of a grade boundary as well as the topics that this paper covered fully. Although the chapter index to this video does have the topic for each of the questions. Right, let's begin. Okay, so this is a fairly big paper. I think it's 114 marks. What I've done is I've tried to pick a couple of questions on each of the most likely topics to come up, having done a frequency analysis of all paper ones that have hit so far. Okay, so question one, PQR is a straight line. Work out the size of the angle marked with the X. So we're after this angle here. Right, so angles along a straight line need to add up to 180. So what that means is that x plus 100 plus 35 is going to be equal to 180. So 100 plus 135 is, sorry, 100 plus 35 is 135. And that's got to be equal to 180. So I'm then going to minus 135 from both sides, and that gives us x is equal to 45. So 45. Okay, question two. Pictogram says information about the number of pictures sold in an art shop in each of January, February, and March. Write down the number of pictures sold in January. Well, we've got this key that says that one square represents 8 pictures. So in January there were 3 full squares, so we're looking at 3 times by 8, which is going to give us 24. 12 pictures were sold in April. Show this information on a pictogram. Well, 12 divided by 8 is going to be equal to 1.5. So I want 1.5 pictures, and I just try and roughly match. Equally drawn very well. Let's tidy it up slightly. So roughly the same size, and then follow the same kind of, this has got, this shows a half, so I'll try and copy that roughly. And part C, what is the total number of pictures sold for all 4 months? So I'm going to try and count this in terms of full squares. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 full squares, 10, 10.5. So I'm going to go 10.5 times by 8. Sorry, 10.5. Missed out my 0.5. 10.5 times by 8. Well, 10 times 8 is going to be 80, and then a half of 80 is going to be 4, so we're looking at 84. Question 3, work out 23 times by 15. So I'm going to use my standard column multiplication, so I'm going to set it up as 24 times by 15. So 5 times by 3 would give me 15, 5 times by 2 would give me 10, plus the other one would give me 11. Now 0 in the units column, and then 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 2 is 2, add the two numbers together. That gives us our answer, 345. Question 4, work out the difference in minutes between 1 hour and 25 minutes and 1 and quarter hours. So the way I'm going to do this is we've got a mixture of units, hours and minutes, and then hours So I'm going to say that 1¼ hours is going to be equal to 1 hour and 15 minutes. So if I do 1 hour and 15 plus 1 hour and 25, should put minutes on both of them. So add them together, I'm going to get 40 minutes there, 1 hour there. And it asks for it in minutes, so 1 hour is 60 minutes, so we're going to have 100 minutes. So 60 plus 40 equals 100 minutes. Also miswritten again here. So let's change that to a minute. Okay, and I've just realised that I've completely done this question wrong. I've made it much more complicated. It asks for the difference, and I've worked out the sum. So I'm going to rewind all the way up to here. So if I'm only after the difference, the difference between 1 hour and 15 and the hour and 25 is just a 10-minute difference. So I've overly complicated that question by quite a bit. Question 5. Here is a list of ingredients for making 20 biscuits. The ingredients for 20 biscuits are so and so. Harry wants to make 60 biscuits. How much flour does he need? So flour, 250 grams would make 20 biscuits. So I'm going to say 60 divided by 20 will give me how many batches I need. And then I want to times that by the amount of flour, 250. So 20 divided by 30 is going to be 3. So I'm looking at 3 times by 250, which is going to be 750 grams. Question 6. Here are 4 numbers. Write one of these numbers in each box to make the calculation correct. So blank plus blank equals -7. So if we look at the numbers, if we want to make -7, we're looking at -9 plus 2. And of course, I could have that the other way around. Question 7, write 3 out of 10 as a percentage. So that's going to be 3 out of 10 is the same. And keep setting this off, is equal to 30 out of 100. So it's going to be 30%. Question 8, work out the value of y when x is equal to 4. So we're doing a bit of substitution here. So 6 times by 4 minus 5. So that's going to become 24 minus 5, which is going to be 19. Question 9, here is a list of numbers. Work out the range of the numbers. So the range is, they're already in size order, which takes a little bit of a workout for us. The largest value minus the smallest value. So 8 minus 2 is going to give us 6. Question 10, here is a list of 8 letters. Write down the modal letter. So that's going to be the one that happens the most, and that's looking quite comfortably like A. One of the 8 letters is going to be picked at random. On the probability scale, mark with a cross the probability that the letter is a B. So we've got 2 B's. So it's going to be probability of B is going to be equal to 2 out of the number of outcomes, which is 8, which is the same as 1/4. I'm looking for quarter, so that's going to be marked there. If we've got half here, and a quarter is going to be half of that distance. Find the probability that this letter will be a C. So the probability of a C, we've only got one C, and we've got 8 outcomes, so we're looking at 1/8. Question 11. Emma has 45 rabbits, so 30 of the rabbits are male, 8 of the female rabbits have short hair, 12 of the rabbits with long hair are male. Use this information to complete the two-way table. So I'm first of all going to put in as much information from the question as I can. So we've got 45 as a total for both. We can also put 30 of the rabbits as being male. 8 of the female have short hair. 12 of the rabbits with long hair are male. Long hair, male, 12. 12 of the rabbits with long hair are male. Okay. Right, so that's the information from the question. My next stage is kind of my one-step questions. So my one-step questions are, I only use the information already there to work out the other values. So for example, this would need to be 18. This would need to be 15. And that's just based on the information from the question. My third stage is assuming that these other values are right, we work out the other totals. So in that, I can say that if I've got 18 and 8, that should add up to 26. Then if I've got 15 here and 8 here, that should mean that we've got 7 here. And that's only using one piece of information from the question. My final stage then is this answer here uses 2 pieces of information from the question, but I can check it in 2 ways. So 12 plus 7 should equal 19. And then also 45 minus 26 should equal 19. So because that's true, I've shown it 2 ways, or worked it out 2 ways. I'm fairly confident, well, no, not fairly confident, I'm certain that I've got that right. Okay, one of Emma's rabbits is chosen at random. Write down the probability that the rabbit is female with short hair. So here's what determines our denominator. One of Emma's rabbits is chosen at random, so my denominator must be 45. Write down the probability that the rabbit is female with short hair. Female with short hair, we've got 8. So I'm looking at 8 out of 45. Question 12, write 9/100ths as a decimal. So 9/100ths, we can view it as 900ths, so 0.09. Question 13, there are only blue cubes, red cubes, yellow cubes in a box. The table shows the probability of taking at random a blue cube from the box, so 0.2. The number of red cubes in the box is the same as the number of yellow cubes in the box. Complete the table. So if those probabilities are the same, 1 minus 0.2 divided by 2. So that's going to be 0.8 divided by 2, which is going to give us 0.4 for both. Okay, there are 12 cubes in the box. Work out the Sorry, there are 12 blue cubes in the box. 12 blue cubes in the box. Work out the total number of cubes in the box. Well, if 0.2 is equal to 12, then 1 is going to be equal to times by 5 times by 5. So 60. That's probability and number. Because obviously 0.2 doesn't equal 12. 0.2, the probability equals 12 as the number. All right, question 14. The bar chart shows information about the total rainfall each month for 4 months in a city. In May, the total rainfall was 35 centimeters. In June, the total rainfall was 20 centimeters. Use this information to complete the bar chart. Okay, so May 35, so I'll find 35, and I need a similar looking bar, so same width as the others. And then in June, it was 20, so June 20, so that's my final bar. Rupal says in February there was 15.5 centimeters of rainfall because the bar is half a square above the 15. Explain why Bupar is wrong. So each square goes up in 5. So each particularly great with my spelling there. Each square on the y-axis goes up by 5, not 1. We could include what it should be. So should be 17.5. So we've explained it. I don't really need that last bit, so should be 17.5. I'm sure it would be absolutely fine just to state. Each square goes up, but each square on the y-axis goes up by 5, not 1 would be absolutely fine. Question 15, work out 2 plus 7 times 10. So we've got to do the multiplication first. So that's going to become 2 plus 70. So we're looking at 72. Okay, rotate shape A 180 degrees about the point 1, 0. So I'm going to mark on 1, 0 first of all. And nothing wrong with asking for tracing paper, although I'm going to go for method without. So if I look at this point here, currently this is 3. To get from here to the point of rotation, I've got to go 3 to the right and 3 down. If I'm going to go 180 degrees, it's going to go kind of opposite, 3 to the left and 3 down. And then I can kind of invert the shape, so draw the shape rotated upside down. So that should be my rotation. And there's nothing wrong with using tracing paper. And I've thought I'd done that wrong actually, but no, that looks fine. Yeah, I've done that wrong. Let's think about it. So if I rotated this shape, the image would actually kind of look upside down version. So it would look like that. So if you draw it in the wrong place, that would be my rotation. So apologies there. Yeah. Right, question 17. Work out the value of P. P is equal to 4x plus 3y. So we've got some substitution and some negative substitution. So anyone that has ever had a proper lesson with me will know whenever I'm substituting a negative number, I will always put it into a bracket. Right, so I'm going to do my multiplication next. So that's going to be equal to 20. And then 3 times minus 2 would be minus 6. And then 20 minus 6 is going to be equal to 14. Part B, expand. I like using lines to help me expand. So I've got 4e multiplied by e plus 2. So 4e times e will give me 4e squared. And then 4e times by 2 would give me 8e. So I'm looking at 4e squared plus 8e. And part C, solve. So I'm a big fan of whatever keeps things simpler. So rather than expand the brackets and then solve, I'm going to get rid of the 3 by, instead of expanding, by dividing by 3. And it doesn't matter if you've done it the other way. So that gives me m minus 4 is equal to 7. Add 4 on both sides. Gives me m is equal to 11. Right, question 18, another solve. So this time I'm going to get rid of a minus 4 by adding 4 on both sides, get rid of a minus 3 by adding 3 on both sides, which gives me m is equal to 7. Part B, solve. So I'm going to simplify this first of all. So 3m plus m would be 4n. 3n plus n would be 4n is equal to 24. And then divide both sides by 4. gives me n is equal to 6. Question 19. The diagram shows a triangle and a rectangle. The perimeter of the rectangle is a quarter the perimeter of the triangle. Work out the length of the rectangle. Okay, so I need to work out the perimeter of the triangle first of all. So the perimeter of the triangle, so I'm going to call it PT, is going to be equal to 36 plus 14 plus 30. So I've written it that way because those two are quite nice to add together. That would give me 50 plus 30 would give me 80. So we're told the rectangle is a quarter the perimeter of the triangle. So the perimeter of the rectangle is going to be equal to 80 divided by 4. So it's got to be equal to 20. And then that's also got to be equal to, what I'm actually going to do is say that half of the perimeter is going to be equal to 4 plus L. So 4 plus L has to be equal to 10. So L has got to be equal to 6. You could have said 20 is equal to 8 plus 2L. I've just taken a shortcut and said that half the perimeter will be just the length plus 4. Question 20. Write the fraction 28 out of 70 in its simplest form. So I actually think that 14s go into both those numbers. 14 will go twice into 28 and 5 times into 70. So I'm going 2 out of 5. If you couldn't spot 14, there's nothing wrong with doing 7 first of all. So I'll do that as a kind of a semi-step. So if I'd have done by 7, 7 goes 4 times into 28 and 10 times into 70. And then we simplify by a factor of 2. Okay, 21. Ruth left her home at 9 a.m. and walked to the library. She got to the library at 10:30 a.m. Ruth walked at a speed of 4 miles per hour. Work out the distance that Ruth walked. So if we're going here, let's do it this way. So the time difference between 10:30 and 9 a.m. is 1 hour and a half, or I'm going to go 1.5. So walking at a speed of in 1 hour, we're covering 4 miles. So in 1.5 hours, we would cover 6 miles. Okay, Ruth got to the library at 10:30. She stayed at the library for 15 minutes. She then walked home. Ruth took 1.25 hours to walk home. At what time did Ruth get home? So I'm going to go, I'm going to kind of do a chunking method for this. So 10:30, and we want to add on 50 minutes. That would take us to 11:20. And then I want to add on 1.25 hours, so 1 hour and 15 minutes. So that would take me to 12:35. And I've just had a thought. I think that I tried to be a bit brave here, and I've messed up. So if we are going, let's just check. That's AM, that's AM, and then if we go after 12, that would be PM. So I've got my wrong 24-hour. So I need to change that to PM. Okay, question 22. Tessa records the number of times adults took to complete a run. She shows her results in a stem and leaf diagram. Find the median. So we've got 15. So We can top and tail this. However, I'm going to say that if we've got 15 and I say add 1, divide by 2, that would be 8. So I'm after the 8th value. So the 8th value is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 64. Find the range. So the range is going to be the largest value, which is 81, minus the smallest value, which is 45. So 41 minus 85 is going to be 36. Part C. Tesla also recorded the time for 15 children took to complete the run. The median for the children was 75 minutes. Compare the times that adults took with the times that children took. Uh, so, uh, so using the median, the median on average, adults were quicker. I'm going to go faster. Okay, question 23. Here are a triangle and a rectangle. The area of the rectangle is 6 times the area of the triangle. Work out the width of the rectangle. Okay, so I'm going to start with the area of the triangle. So the area of the triangle is going to be equal to half of base times height, so 8 times 9, which is going to be the same as 4 times 9, so that's going to be 36. So so the area of the triangle is going to be 6 times the area of the rectangle. So I'm going to kind of write it like this. 36 times by 6 is going to be equal to 16 times by W. So this is just going to save me having to do the multiplication. I'm going to divide both sides by 16. And then I'm going to do a bit of simplifying. So 16, I'm going to cancel down. Let's do this by 2 first of all. So that would be 3 and 8. And then we can do 36s and 8. Well, we can go by 4. So 36 divided by 4 is going to be 9 and 2. And that just makes my calculation just a little bit more simple. So 9 times 7 is going to be, 9 times 3 is going to be 27. Divided by 2 is equal to the width. So we're looking at 13.5 is equal to the width. And if you did that multiplication of 36 times by 6 and then divided that by 16, that's absolutely fine. I've just taken a bit of a lazy shortcut by simplifying before I do that big multiplication. Okay, question 24. Find the highest common factor of 72 and 90. Right, so I'm going to break these two numbers down using factor trees. And again, with a factor tree, I always have a very clear method. I always take off my lowest factor first of all, because when I get to the end, that's what I want it as. So 72 is 2 times 2 times 13. Just double check that I've done that right. I've done that wrong straight away. That's 36 and 18, and so that means that's 2 and 18, which is 2 and 9, which is 3 and 3. Good job, I checked that. So I'm looking at 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. So let's move that over a bit. So 90 is going to be 2 times 45, which is going to be 3 times 15, which is going to be 3 times 5. So 90 is 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. Right, so a bit more space than I wanted to really. If I was uh, doing this for 72 and 90, so my common factors are they have a 2 in common. They also have a 3 in common. I can fill in the rest of the numbers, but there's no real need. So my highest common factor is and I've missed a 3 out, and a 3. So my highest common factor is going to be equal to 2 times 3 times 3, which is going to be 9 times 2, which would be 18. Okay, question 25. On the grid, reflect the shape in the mirror line. So here's our mirror line. So this point is currently 1 square above, so it goes 1 square below the mirror line. This point here is 2 above, so it goes 2 below. This is 1 above, so it goes 1 below. So then this one is 3 above, so 3 below, and then complete my shape. And I've gone too high. 3 above, 3 below should take me to there. So that's my shape. And part B, write down the equation of the mirror line. So the equation of the mirror line is, well, if we look at the coordinates, y is 1 there and all the way across the line. So the line is y is equal to 1. Okay, question 26, right, 156 as a product of its prime factors. So 156, and take off my lowest factor, 2 and, well, 150 will be 75, so that's got to be 78, which is 2 and 39, which is going to be 3 and 13. So 156 is 2 squared times by 3 times by 13. Okay, find the highest common factor of 156 and 130. So I'm going to do 130 now. So that's going to be 2 and 65, which is going to be 5 and 13. So my highest common factor, so again, a bit like the question that I've just done, 156 and 130, they're common factors. They've got a 2 in common, and they've also got a 13 in common. 156, I'll carry on, I didn't do this last time, but 136 also has an extra 5, and 130 also has an extra 3. So if I wanted the lowest common multiple, it would be these 4 things multiplied together. I only want the highest common factor, so that's going to be 2 times 3. 2 times 13, which is going to be 26. Question 27. In a village, the number of houses and the number of flats are in the ratio of 7 to 4. The number of flats to the number of bungalows are in the ratio of 8 to 5. There are 50 bungalows in the village. How many houses are there in the village? Okay, so to do this question, I'm going to split it. I'm going to keep with ratios, I think. So if I go and just kind of combine these, if I say that houses are going to be H, flats are going to be F, and bungalows are going to be B. Okay, so houses to flats are 7 to 4, so 7 there and 4 there. And then flats to bungalows are 8 to 5. And then my end, well, not quite my end point, I'm told that there are 50 bungalows, and I want to work out how many flats there are. So I'm going to start by combining them. My flats is the element that I can combine because I've got 4 and 8. I'm going to combine them to both being the same, so 8, by using equivalent ratios. I don't need to adjust the second ratio, but I need to times the first ratio by 2. That's going to be 14 there. Right, and now if I'm jumping to 50 from 5, I'm timesing by 10, so I'm going to times by 10 here as well, which will give me 140. So there are going to be 140 houses. Question 28, work out an estimate for, and then we've got a calculation. So on the GCSE spec, for any estimation question like this, you're not going to get any more marks for going more accurate than one significant figure. So I'm going to say that that is approximately equal to a wavy equal sign. So 5.6 to one significant figure would be 6, and then 8.2 would be 8, and then we're going to divide that by 0.3. Right, so 6 times by 8 is going to give me 48 divided by 0.3. Dividing by a decimal number is always tricky, so I'm going to times both of them by 10, so I'm going to say that's the same as 480 divided by 3, and then 480 divided by 3 is going to give me 160. So I'm going to go 160. Okay, question 9. Another estimation question, I think. Yeah. Amy and Josh use a calculator to work out, and then we're given the sum. Amy's answer is, Josh's answer is, one of these answers is correct. Use approximations to find out which answer is correct. Okay, so similar technique here. I'm going to put each of these to one significant figure. So 595 is approximately equal to 600. 4.08 is approximately equal to 4. And then plus 5. So that's going to give me 600 divided by 16 plus 1. Sorry, 16 plus 5. I was thinking ahead slightly. Right, so that's going to give me 600 divided by 21. I'm then going to say that that's approximately equal to, because I'm going to round that 21 to 20, 600 divided by 20, which is equal to 30. So the answer needs to be roughly 30. So the person that is right is going to be me. Which answer is correct? So I would go Emmy. Emmy's answer is correct. Okay, question 30. Let's zoom out slightly. Find the coordinate of the midpoint of PQ. So we're going to have two methods for this. My first one is if I write down the coordinate of P, P is at the coordinate -3, -2, and Q is at the point 2, 4. And then if I want the midpoint then of those two, I can say that the midpoint of PQ is going to be equal to -3 plus 2 divided by 2, and then -2 plus 4 divided by 2. So that leaves me with that's minus a half, and then that would be 1. So I'm going minus a half, 1. So that's doing it from the coordinates. We could have also joined them up and then found the midpoint by kind of halving the distances. So we've got a total of 6 here. So we want the midpoint. I've gone wrong. We've got a total of 5 there. So we would go halfway in between, and then we've got a total of 2, 4, 6 there. So the midpoint would be 3. So I've not drawn it particularly well, but you could have done it from drawing it on there accurately. That would have been perfectly acceptable too. Question 31. The diagram shows a plan of a floor. Petra is going to cover the floor with paint. Petra has 3 tins of paint. There are 2.5 litres of paint in each tin. Petra thinks 1 litre will cover 10 metres squared of floor. Assuming Petra is correct, does she have enough paint to cover the floor? Okay, so I'm going to split this into 2 rectangles. I'm just in my head trying to work out which would be the easiest split. I'm going to split it there. You could have split it, so I'll show you. You could have split it there as well. Or alternatively, you could have done 1 large rectangle, take away a small rectangle. All would be perfectly fine, but I'm going to split it there. And I'm going to say A1 and A2. So A1, the dimensions of A1 is 8 times by 6, which is going to give us 48 meters squared. And then the area of A2 is going to be equal to, well, if that's if that's 6 and that's 10, that must be 4. So it's going to be 4 times by 5, which would give us 20 meters squared. So the area total, the area T, is going to be equal to 48 plus 20. So it's going to be 68 meters squared. And then if we then move to how much paint she's got, 2.5 litres of paint in each tin. Petra thinks that 1 litre will cover 10 meters. So I'm going to go total paint, TP, is going to be equal to 3 times by 2.5 times by 10. So that's going to be 25 times by 3. So she's got 75 meters squared. So assuming, does she have enough? Yes, she does. So yes, she does. Okay, part B. Actually, 1 litre of paint will cover 11 meters squared of floor. Does this affect your answer to part A? No. You must give a reason for your answer. I'm going there straight away because what that means is my sum would become 3 times 2.5 times by 11, so she'd actually have even more paint. So does this affect your answer? No. She will even more. Technically, she doesn't have even more paint. She even more areas she can cover. She has even more. Just trying to phrase it in my mind. No, she will have even. She will be able to cover even more, an even greater area. To cover even more area. Okay, question 32. V is equal to U plus AT. U is equal to 1, A is equal to minus 3, and T is equal to a half. Work out the value of V. So again, we're going to be substituting, and again, we're substituting negative numbers. I'll always say, whenever substituting negative numbers, put them in a bracket. So I'm going to say V is equal to U, which is 1 plus A, so minus 3 times by half. So we do our multiplication first. So 3 times by half would be minus 3 over 2. So 1 plus, we don't really need it, plus 1 minus 3 halves. And then 1 minus 3 halves, well, that's 1 take away 1.5. So that's going to be minus a half. Okay, question 33. So we've got our Venn diagram. The universal set is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Set A is the odd numbers. Set B is the square numbers. Complete the Venn diagram for this information. Okay, so 1 is an odd and a square number, so 1 will go in the intersection. 2 is neither. So we'll do these 2 here. 3 is an odd number but not a square number. 4 is an even square number. 5 is an odd number. 6 is none. 7 is an odd number. 8 is none. 9 is an odd square number. And then 10 would go there as well. Just a couple of minor tips here. So I always try and make this. These numbers could be spread out within these sections, but my marker is looking for these numbers, so I've kind of listed them nice and clearly for my marker. I've avoided writing them next to each other because then I kind of need to put commas in. So that's kind of the technique that I would go for and recommend for that. A. A number is chosen at random from the universal set, so that's from all of the numbers. Find the probability that the number is in set B dashed, so that means not in B. So not in B would be, not in B would represent this section and this section. So we just need to write the numbers that are in there. I like to write them in size order, but it's not needed. So I'm going to go 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, so I'm listing them, which I don't need to do. It asks for the probability. So the probability is out of the 10. Let me just check. Have we got 10 numbers? We have, yeah. So out of the 10 numbers, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's going to be 7 out of 10. Question 34. Work out 8.46 divided by 0.15. So I always do a similar method for multiplying by decimal numbers. So we don't like dividing by decimal numbers, so I would times them by a value to make them. So I'll set it out like this to start with. 46 divided by 0.15. So I don't like dividing by decimal numbers because it kind of messes up my place value. So I'm going to multiply both of these numbers by 100 to get rid of the decimal in the denominator. And it actually gets rid of it in the numerator as well. So that's going to be the same as, or an equivalent fraction to 856 divided by 15. And then I can do that division. I'm not overly confident on my 15 times table, so we could adjust it, but we'll stick with it. So I'm going to do 846 divided by 15. So 15 is going to 84 3 times, which would give me 75. If I subtract those, that's going to give me 9. So 96. 15 is going to 96 fully 4 times, with 6 left over. 15s don't go into 6. So I'm going to go 0.0. And then 15 is going to 60 fully 4 times. Let's start that again. I've messed up right from the beginning. So I was doing by 25 for some reason. Right. 15's got 15, 30, 60, 1, 2, 4, 5. 75 would be 5. So that would go in fully 5 times. Um, 75, 96. 15 is going to 96 fully. So if we carried on this pattern, so we've got 30, 60, 90 would be 6. So we're going fully 6 times. And we've got decimal there. So technically we've got 0.06, and then 15 is going to 60 fully 4 times. So we've got 56.4. Again, I'm not a massive fan of long division with a larger denominator. So what I'm going to do is, now we'll stick with that. So I could double them both and then divide by 30, which is slightly easier. But that method holds up. I'm just made a mistake the first time. Okay, question 35. A pattern is made from 4 identical squares. The sides of the squares are parallel to the axis. The coordinate of A is 6, 7. So we've got 6, 7 there. So I'm going to, just to make it a bit clearer for myself, we'll add 6 and 7 there and there. And then we've got this point here at 38, 36. The coordinate of C. So if I look at the distance between here and here, so this total distance is, if I call it x for now, 1, 2, 3, 4x. So 4x is going to be equal to the difference between the coordinates, which would be 38 minus 6. So that would be 32, which would mean that x must be equal to 8. So each of these lengths is going to be 8. So C is going to be equal to, there we go, C is going to be equal to, if we look at the x coordinate first of all, it's going to be equal to 6 plus 2 lots of x, which is going to be 6 plus 16, so that would be 22. Now the y coordinate is slightly different because if we look here, it's 1 and a bit. So, but what we can do is we can say that we can work it out from this value here. So the y coordinate, so I should really have said x coordinate. The y coordinate is going to be equal to 36 minus 2 lots of x. That's going to be 36 minus 16. Which is going to be equal to 20. Okay, 36. Work out 1/5 of 70. So that's going to be the same as 70 divided by 5. 70 divided by 5 is going to be equal to 14. Fiona has to work out the exact value of 48 divided by a half. She writes 48 divided by a half is equal to 24. Fiona's reason is there are 2 halves in 1, so there will be 24 halves in 40. Explain what is wrong with Fiona's reasoning. So she has done 48 times by a half, not divided by a half. There are 2 halves in 1. That is true. So there will be 24 halves in 48. There are 2 halves in 1, so there will be 24 halves in 48. So I'm not criticizing her reason here. If I was criticizing her reasons, I would say there are 2 halves in 1, so there will be 96 halves in 48. That would be the correct reason. So what is wrong with her reason? So that would be the correct reason. Now, if I'm criticizing her reason, so she should have, so she has divided by 2 instead of times by 2. She has divided by 2 instead of multiplying by 2. Hey, question 37. 4 red bricks have a mean weight of 5 kilograms. 5 blue bricks have a mean weight of 9 kilograms. 1 green brick has a weight of 6 kilograms. Donna says the mean weight of the 10 bricks is less than 7 kilograms. Is Donna correct? You must show you're working for your answer. So we've got red, blue, and green bricks. So the numbers, first of all, are 4, 5, and 1. The mean weight is 5, 9, 6. So the total weight would be 4 times 5, that would be 20. 9 times 5 would be 45, and 1 times 6 would be 6. So her total weight, 20, so the mean would be equal to 20 plus 45 plus 6, all divided by 10. That's going to give me 65, 71. 71 divided by 10, which would equal 7.1 kilograms. So is Donna right? No. Mean would be 7.1 kilograms. Okay, question 38. Diagram shows triangle AOB. Angle AOB is not obtuse. AOB is not obtuse. Find the greatest value of x, you must show your working. So not obtuse means that it's got to be less than 90 degrees. Find the greatest value for x, so we've got to add them together. So we're going to say that 2x plus 3x plus 10 has to be less than 90. So that means that 5x plus 10 has to be less than 90. So 5x has to be less than 80. So x has got to be less than 16. Find the greatest value of x is not obtuse. Well, actually, technically, we could say that it was equal to, if it was 90, it would be a 90-degree angle. So x can be 16. I should have said less than or equal to. That would have worked better. Okay, 29. Freddie measures the length of a pencil as 7.2 centimeters correct to 1 decimal place. Complete the error interval. Right. So students really tend to do badly on this. So if it's 7.1, that means that it's been rounded to 7. Sorry, if it's 7.2, it means it's been rounded to 7.2 instead of 7.1 or 7.3. So the maximum value, particularly bear in mind we're using the less than or equal to and less than. The very largest it could be would be 7.15, and the biggest it could be, and still be rounded to 7.2, would be 7.25. And technically, we would round that up, but that's why we've got the inequality symbol of less than there. So we're going 7.15 there, 7.25 there. And that brings us to the end of the paper. Right, before I move on, I'm going to bring up the advanced QLA. I'm going to do this in kind of 2 stages, just to explain my reasoning as well. Okay, so based on that paper, just a bit of background of where this paper came from. So I used a little bit of exam analysis of past paper ones, and I created a kind of a topic list of the most commonly appeared questions over paper ones based on what's happened previously. I then picked a couple of questions on each of those topics just to try and make it fully fair and test all of the skills at that level. Because I used exam past questions and advanced exam analysis gives a rough grade boundaries for that paper. So the maximum score on that was 111. And then we've got the, based on the past students that sat that, you've got a mean score there. And then that gives you rough kind of grade boundaries. So you were looking at really 89 marks to get a grade 5, 75 for a 4, sort of 60 for a 3, 44 for a 2, and roughly 30 marks for a grade 1, which is quite useful. But as well as that, it's given me kind of, those are all the skills that were tested. There are 39 questions, and those are the topics. It also, once I'd selected all of my questions, I arranged it by mean percentage. The purpose of that was so that the question built, starting for quite easy and then building into quite difficult questions, so that it felt more like an exam paper that gradually built in difficulty. If anyone's particularly curious, the beige questions are what they were is they're parts of questions. So the pictogram was obviously more than one part, and then it was arranged by the harder of those elements, just so that we kind of built. So the maximum score here doesn't actually match 111 because I've taken out the bits of questions. That also tells you the topics for each of the questions. I will chapter index the video based around these skills tested. And if you found one of those questions particularly challenging, it means that you can focus your revision on those areas. I've got quite a few just skills videos. You can have a go at some of those just to improve your particular aspects. I hope you found the video useful. Please do if you've got any questions, comments, or feedback, if you type them into the chat to the video, I'll get back to you pretty quickly. If you spot any mistakes that are spotted, I can't really re-record the question. So what I will do is I will add it to the chapter index. So if there's any mistakes spotted there. I hope you found it useful. Please do subscribe if you like, and then you'll get notifications as soon as any other videos are produced. And good luck with your exams coming up, and I will see you soon.